Want to know what happens to your hand cast stones if you add too much water to the mix before you pour them? Let's go find out. I always pour the water first. I found that just adding the mix to the water makes for less dust, although wear a mask no matter how you do it. There's the thin mix. I'm pouring it in and going to just use the leftover mix from that stone and add more mix. You can see it's going to be considerably thicker. Pour it into the second mold. I want to do them both the same, so I'm not tapping or agitating them in any way. I am going to go ahead and scrape the back to try to make for a smooth back on the stones, and we wait. And here are the finished stones. This is the thick mix. You can see it's got a nice back on it, nice and smooth, nice rim there to set it down on the table. The stone is smooth. Right here, there are a few little air bubbles that wouldn't be there had we tapped it, but those will be easy to fill with some mix and sand out. You can see immediately this thinner mix, all of the water that has risen to the top just pours off. The back is now pretty much a mess. The scraping across the back didn't matter at all because with all the water there, it totally messed up the back, and it's going to look terrible even after you sand it. You see the air bubbles there on the front of the stone. This thing is so wet, it's going to take a long time to cure. I'm really surprised there's not more air bubbles. Typically, a thin mix, you end up with them all over the stone. The biggest thing is just here to compare the two of them. At a glance, you can already see how different they are, but right here, look at the difference in the size of these stones. How much all that water sitting on top, not only did it ruin the back, but it took away a lot of the shape and size of the stone. So when it comes to the water ratio in your mix, I'm gonna say that it's always better to start with not enough water if it's one way or the other. Typically there's directions on the mix, but if for some reason you don't have those, start with less. You can always add more water to get it to the consistency you want. It's a lot easier to do that than to add too much water to begin with, because it's pretty deceiving. It looks like you're gonna need more water and then it really thins out. So start with less. If you add too much water, you can always add more mix, but you're gonna need a lot of molds to use the mix that you'll add that quickly before it forms. So that's it. Thanks. See ya.